You're listening to Last Word Radio, where you get the last word.
Welcome to the Fourth Line Podcast, part of the Alberta Podcast Network, powered by ATB. This is April the 3rd, 2018. With you today is myself, Carl, and the always wonderful Joel.
What up?
Joel, we are back a day late. We were busy on our Easter egg hunts, obviously. That's what we were doing. It took us an extra day to get them done, but we did it.
It was a holiday yesterday.
For some people.
For me.
Us, and me.
I didn't work.
Me either.
So that's why.
Yeah. So I hope everyone who did have a great long weekend enjoyed that.
What's your favorite Easter candy?
Probably mini eggs. Or just like chocolate. Just straight up good, like a full non-hollow rabbit.
Apparently Reese's Pieces is considered an Easter candy now.
Nope. Although I did have Reese's mini eggs yesterday.
Interesting.
They weren't that great. They were serviceable, but they weren't anything to write home about. Like, it's enough that I'll talk about them on a podcast, but I won't write home about them.
Like Reese's Peanut Butter Cup egg?
It was like the shape of a mini egg, but it was like peanut buttery inside.
Okay. See, apparently you can get Reese's Pieces like that, so it makes it look like a carrot in a bag.
Okay.
And so that made it an Easter candy, which if that's an Easter candy, I'm all about that being like probably the best Easter candy.
Yeah, I've never had that one.
It's just Reese's Pieces, but it looks like they just make it look like a carrot. There's no yellow pieces. So maybe it's just Reese's or which one's orange and which one's yellow?
I assume, aren't they the same flavor? I've never noticed a difference in flavor.
No, there's no difference in flavor, but obviously one's Reese's and one's Pieces. Or there's brown ones too, right?
I never assumed that one was labeled Reese's and the other's Pieces.
Well, it's like Mike and Ike's. One of the colors is Mike's, the other color is Ike's.
Right. I assumed that it was like M&M's, where they're just like M, and the other one is also M.
Yeah, but then it would be called Reese's, not, or like Pieces, not Reese's Pieces. Like, it's two different names.
Right. I feel like you don't have to name every piece of candy after the name in it. Like Runts. Like, they're not all a runt.
Yeah, but there's just one name.
So any candy with two names that has multiple parts, you automatically assume that their name is labeled to the other pieces.
I would have to think so.
This is interesting. I'm gonna do some research throughout the show here.
Okay, quickly.
Yeah.
This is going to be rapid fire. Cadbury cream egg, Rolo egg.
Rolo,
Oreo.
An Oreo egg?
Yeah, there's like the Cadbury cream eggs. There's like an Oreo version of that. So basically, the inside is like the Oreo icing with cookie crumbs with a chocolate outside.
I will pick that.
Okay, Oreo versus Aero.
Oreo.
Egg. Oreo versus Caramel.
Oreo.
I don't know if there's any others, but I'm thinking the official egg of the fourth line is the Oreo, because I would go Oreo over all of those as well.
Well, congratulations, Oreo. You did it. You made it.
So I'm surprised. Have you not seen this? Have you not seen the Oreo egg?
No, now I want them.
They're like, it's basically a bunch of Oreo middle with some of the cookie with the chocolate around it.
I like this.
This sounds really good to me.
Very, very much so.
So this is, I don't know. That's where I would go. I think Reese's Pieces, if it's Easter egg, then maybe the Oreo egg. I'm good with the standard like Easter candy jube. Like like the little bunnies that are yellow, blue, and pink.
Those are good.
Those are good. I like those. Those are just solid Easter egg candy.
Yeah.
Not the Peeps.
No, Peeps are... If I wanted stale marshmallows, I would just leave marshmallows out. Before we get into what is a action-packed week, the last week of the regular season, we want to remind all of you about the folks over at ATB Financial. They support the Alberta Podcast Network. They support this show. And if you head to atb.com/listens, you can let them know how they can help you. They want to hear from you. They want to know so that they can help you the best way possible. So head over there, chat with them, and see what ATB can do for you. Well, Joel, this is the last week. The playoffs are here next Wednesday.
Sure. Is that the first game? Is Wednesday?
Yeah, I noticed because I typically don't watch the games on Sportsnet. So while watching the baseball game, they constantly were saying, playoffs on Sportsnet starts April 11th. So there you go. April 11th, the games start, which means next week we will have a full playoff preview. But now we're going to talk about the news of the week, what's happening, what's going to happen this week. We're going to somehow manage to eliminate one team in the elimination station from the Western Conference. I have no idea who it's going to be because I'm fairly certain we wish to eliminate different teams. So
I don't know. Maybe. Did I tell you today what team I'm eliminating?
You hinted at it. We'll see if that's who you pick.
I don't even remember hinting at someone, so
Well,
that's fun.
Well,
I'm glad that I think you're just reading into stuff because you like to. This is what we call in the business a teaser.
Ooh,
You're just trying to create stuff.
I'm just
I don't
making
know.
news.
Apparently. So, quick question though. I wanted to get into this before we got into the news. If you had to guess what the official candy of the Alberta Podcast Network is,
Ooh, I don't know.
Easter candy. No, I guess
Yeah, I would say probably chocolate, like just the chocolate eggs wrapped in tinfoil, like a good standard, just a good classic piece of candy.
See, I don't know. I think they would be something more variety based, where you get like different kinds of things. Is there an Easter candy that like when you buy it, like there's multiple of something?
Like jelly beans.
Maybe. Yeah, that would be it. Because like there's lots of variety. I don't know. I was thinking about this while you were talking about the news. I apologize for derailing this.
No. Yeah, that is a quality point. Jelly beans, the official candy of the Alberta Podcast Network. Oreo eggs? Is that ours? I still need to find out how to get those.
You need to get one of those. It's
I do. Apparently that's going to change my life.
Tomorrow. You got to do it tomorrow though, because like they're going to be
They're
gone.
disappearing. Yeah, I got to head to a Walmart or something.
But they're half off right now, so
That's a win.
yeah. Just
All
don't
right.
like them too much, because then you'll just be like, I need more of these in my life, and they're gone for
Yeah.
a year.
Now I'm just left with disappointment and hunger.
Speaking of disappointment, the Avs having a great week.
Yeah. I think, well, I don't think I know. My reaction to the Avalanche's week was strong. I was over family dinner this week. Got the news that Simeon Varlamov was out for the rest of the season. Eric Johnson out. I like the optimism that they give in this, reporting that Eric Johnson will be out for 6 weeks, as if the Avalanche will still be playing hockey 6 weeks from now. But I appreciate their confidence in themselves.
Why you gotta be so down? They could be playing hockey in 6 weeks.
I don't think so.
They are currently lining up to play the Preds. Like, you could maybe beat the Preds.
You could get we could maybe get one win in a 7-game series against the Preds. You are correct.
Stranger things have happened.
True. Yeah.
So, okay, you want to start West, or do you want to, like, I don't know how much, we, like, said, like, let's talk about the playoff races. I'm not really sure what there is to talk about. rather than, I think we only have we have one division that's set, two divisions.
Like fully set, like nothing can change from now till then?
Yeah, two divisions set.
So the Atlantic is fully set.
Mm-hmm.
And the Central could be set tonight. If the Preds win tonight against the Panthers, they win the division. The Jets still technically could catch them.
I'm willing to go out on a limb and say that this is set.
So you think that the Preds can manage 1 point in the next, or 2 points in the next 3 games?
It's a 5 point. Yeah, this is set. That's set. So
okay,
no one's catching Minnesota at this point.
No, that's a fact.
It's actually impossible for them to be caught.
Yeah, Minnesota is locked into third.
So
so we'll say the Central's set.
Okay, so we have all these. You want to go east? Columbus is probably. I don't know. I guess they're technically tied. I didn't realize. Wow, Columbus, what are you doing? I thought you were better than this. So, quietly, the Metropolitan might drop down into the wild card.
Well, they are right now. All the Metropolitan is the wild card, right?
Right, but I was thinking I thought Columbus. I don't pay attention to that division in the East, and so were they Columbus hasn't they been in a non-wild card spot all season basically?
For the most part, yeah, they've been doing, as of late, they've been doing great. So they've pushed themselves out of a wild card spot back into a non-wild card position. Philly was the one for most of the season that was sitting out of that wild card spot.
Oh, okay. So they, I don't know. Who do you think finishes in that division? Do the Panthers catch the Jersey team?
Well, so we'll start with the easiest question. Do the Panthers catch the Jersey team? And the answer to that is no. So Panthers have 4 games left. They're 5 points back. That seems like a lot to catch in 5 games. They would need Jersey to fall apart and to play great. And one of the games, the aforementioned game against the Preds.
Great. Quietly, Jersey's been 7-2-1 in the last 10. It's a good little stretch.
It is, and with Keith Kincaid, a name that's apparently hard for me to say in net, Corey Schneider backing him up.
Would you like a funny story about Keith Kincaid?
Please do.
So I don't have a ton of people blocked on Twitter. I got, I don't know, a handful, maybe 20 or so, most of them spam-ish type accounts.
Yeah.
Keith Kincaid on my block list.
What has Keith Kincaid done to you?
Well, he sends out the most annoying tweets after every game. That's just really long and full of emojis and about his team. And I had people on my people that I followed that would retweet that almost every game, and I was I hate these so much. So I just blocked him.
I can't confirm on the last, I guess he had a tweet about a hockey camp or something he's doing this summer, but the last tweet he had was on April 1st, and it said, Hoppy Easter, rabbit emoji, hashtag New Jersey Devils, Devils emoji, win again, ambulance sign with the great redirection, goal light, to get the boys going, hospital, coming up clutch with the game-winning goal light, Z's, palm tree, and finish flag, all adding an apple.
Yeah, see?
Hashtag, I'm not done, Joel. Hashtag
Sorry.
NJD versus everybody. Hashtag chicken emoji out.
Yeah, the worst.
I understand why Keith Kincaid's blocked by you.
That is
right
so
below,
bad.
The tweet right before that, equally terrible, but what he also added was a gif of himself dabbing. So it almost should have been done right away.
Right. So I would be worried as a New Jersey Devils fan that that's the guy leading me into the playoffs.
Yeah.
That's not going to win me any games. That guy is going to let in all the goals versus Boston.
He seems quite emotionally stable, Joel. I don't know what you're talking about. That seems like the kind of solid mindset you want from a goaltender going into the playoffs.
So, okay.
Here's the one thing that I thought you would like. Big fan of Chipotle.
Yeah, lots of people love Chipotle. If I had to if I had to love everybody that loved Chipotle, I would love like 90% of people.
What's wrong?
Because really, seems like a little much, doesn't it?
That's a little too high for you.
I'd like to be more in like at least like the 85 to 80 range. That's a little reasonable.
That's fair. Yeah. So I think that Florida's out. So we'll lock that in. You agree, Florida? Not touching New Jersey. So with that said, I guess between Columbus, Philly, and New Jersey, one of them is going to be playing the Boston Bruins in the first round. The other wildcard team will be playing the Caps. They've locked up that division. And the third will be playing Pittsburgh. Of those teams, of Boston, Pittsburgh, and Washington, which team, I know last week we talked Boston versus Tampa, which of those teams would you rather play in the first round?
Pittsburgh.
How so?
Well, it's probably Washington, but I'm going to say Pittsburgh because I think, like, Washington has a little bit of the after-the-fact sleeper on them right now. Like, how many years have we been like, Washington's amazing, they win all the games, they're so good, but they can't win in the playoffs. Now nobody is on Washington. Everyone's just been like they're almost like an afterthought, and yet they're leading the division. They're going to head in there with the same team that they always do. Like, but no one's like being like, this is the year for Washington. They're going to get past it. It kind of like everyone's already given up on them.
Yeah, well, I think because everyone's been so disappointed by them, right? Like,
yeah, and so it kind of feels like, I don't know, like Carl's just pulling like the ultimate reverse jinx by jumping off the bandwagon only to like swoop in at the end and be like, I've loved you forever. I didn't want to say it because I was sad, but I realized my power's within, and now you're amazing and I love you. Carl just like I guarantee it, they win the Stanley Cup, like as soon as like the buzzer goes off for the like Stanley Cup winning game, all of a sudden Carl just like takes off his sweater and there's his TJ Oshie jersey, and it's been there the whole time.
It was always there, just lying under a wig. I was actually thinking today because I was pondering what I would do if Colorado doesn't make the playoffs. Who would I be supporting? And because my bandwagon team that I chose, they didn't make the playoffs. The Avalanche didn't make the playoffs. One thing I was recapping earlier this week, I am very, very, very thankful that I did not pick the Anaheim Ducks as my bandwagon team. Because it would be so pointless in this playoff race where Colorado is a point back that I'm rooting against that team so hard, wanting something terrible to happen in every game that they play. That wouldn't work.
Well, I feel like I made the point that you probably can't pick a team from the same division.
Right. They're in the Pacific.
So they're not? I don't know.
They're fighting for wild cards.
I am so done with these like divisions and the new format. Can we just go back to one that makes sense?
Sure.
I don't understand this.
Either way, Colorado and Anaheim would still be in the West.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm so confused. Every time I talk about divisions, I'm like, that team's in this division, and then Carl's like, no, they're not.
that is a standard thing, yeah. Joel has no idea who's in what division. You know the Leafs are in the Atlantic, and that's about it.
And so are the Habs. That's all I know.
Yeah.
So, okay, fine. Are you happy with the Carolina pick still? I remember how upset you were about me being like, they're awful, they're not going to make the playoffs. And you were just like so dismissive of me about like, no, they're definitely a playoff team.
Yeah. I actually don't think... So certainly, looking at it the way it is, my choices, I narrowed it down to Columbus, Carolina, Anaheim. I hate the Anaheim pick right now because I'd be cheering against them. Carolina didn't make the playoffs, and Columbus had an up and down season. They're going to be in the playoffs, and so to me, none of them really excite me. And Colorado is the only team that I've actually truly cared about most of the season. And so I actually, we didn't talk about this. I haven't told you this, but I was sitting here before the show was going on. Joel was trying to figure out his Skype password, and it was Austin Matthews 34. In case you're wondering. So I'm sitting here wondering, what should I do? And I was thinking, like, I'm not going to pick a bandwagon team next year. I'm done with them. I have a team. It's Colorado. That's my official statement. So yeah, did I pick poorly? Probably. But I also realize now that I only need one love.
So what are you going to do if Colorado doesn't make it? Switching to the West. Because really, actually, should we cue the music?
I was going to say, we should cue the music.
Elimination Station.
All right, there's the music. Joel, the Elimination Station is upon us, the final one of the season. There are, looking at the Western Conference, 4 teams still in a fight for 3 spots. Los Angeles with 96 points. Anaheim with 95 points. Colorado with 93. St. Louis with 92. Anaheim, St. Louis both have an extra game over Colorado and Los Angeles. So, every single team, I'm just starting with my case right now. Every team controls their own destiny, except for one. That one team is the Colorado Avalanche. Colorado plays San Jose on Thursday. Then on Saturday, they will be playing the St. Louis Blues. The Blues play Chicago twice and then Colorado on Saturday. So, certainly, they lose to Chicago. Colorado beats San Jose. The winner of that game will make the playoffs. So to me, I think having that where Colorado, St. Louis play, to me, it's down to one of those 2 teams. I think Anaheim, especially LA, would have to drop 4 points back. I don't see that happening. To me, it's down to Colorado, St. Louis. One of those 2 teams is the one going home. At this point in the year, I always put my trust in the team that controls their own fate. If you're hoping for other teams to lose for you to make the playoffs, you're in a bad spot. So I know that, 2-3 weeks ago, you had a passionate point about how the Colorado Avalanche were going to make the playoffs, but I'm not buying it, Joel. This is not a reverse jinx. And I know you're going to say it. But there is no, at this point in time, statistically, Colorado has the worst odds of making the playoffs. It's very, very simple.
Can you just stand up for your team once? Can you just be like, I'm all in. They're gonna do it. I love Colorado.
If that was the most likely scenario, yes, I would. But it's not.
It's just sad. It's just sad because at this time of year, it's also very difficult to climb over top of guys and to get more, the Blues have less points. They just do. I think the Blues are still, I said the Blues last week, I'm sticking with the Blues. They're going to lose at least one of those games to Chicago. Okay, why not? Chicago's won a game in their day. They know how to win hockey games. They're going to win one of those 2 games.
Chicago literally had to play a 36-year-old beer league goaltender this week.
That's fine. St. Louis lost 6-0 to Arizona.
Yeah, that happened.
Yeah, that's not good. You don't deserve to make the playoffs by doing that. So, St. Louis has had I think 2 games now where because it's been really hit or miss this whole time, but I think they lost yesterday, did they not? 4-2 to the Caps. The Caps aren't playing for anything. They should have beat them.
Yeah, it was 3-2 with an empty netter.
and then they lost 6-0 to the Coyotes. They're not winning games when they need to. Come on, stand up for your team and be like,
Neither is Colorado.
they can do it.
Colorado could have gone into Anaheim and won a game, gone into Los Angeles and won a game the next night, but they have Jonathan Bernier in net. They're playing Jonathan Bernier on back-to-backs
I don't know.
and hoping and praying that they can win a game based on that. You can't. You cannot win a game when you've had your number one goaltender get hurt that last week. If you can't win, in the same way you say that St. Louis, if you can't win games, you don't deserve to make it. If you go into the teams that you're chasing,
whoa, I did not say that. I said against Arizona, losing to the Kings and the Ducks is different than losing to Arizona.
You also said Washington, who have won a division this year.
They don't have anything to play for, though. They could have won that game.
Yeah, they could have, but obviously, Washington played as well as they could. It's not like they were benching anyone. They had Holtby in net. They had Ovi doing his Ovi thing.
But the Kings and the Ducks had more to play for. They're playing in the same spot, so it's more reasonable. You're not going to win the argument that losing 6-0 to the Coyotes is better than losing to the Ducks or the Kings.
Okay, yeah, I'm most certainly not arguing that point. Yeah.
So I don't think we're gonna agree on this one. I'm throwing the Blues and I'm eliminating them. You do what you want, but I'm not eliminating the Avs.
Let's say, since the premise of the elimination station is for us to agree on a team, and you have just stated the fact that you don't think we're going to agree, what then, Joel, is your solution to fix the St. Louis Blues?
Okay.
Because we've already done what we need to do for Colorado. Nothing's changed since then, right? We still think Colorado don't really tweak a whole lot, figure out what to do in net because Simeon Varlamov gets hurt too much and Jonathan Bernier isn't good. It still applies.
I don't think you do much to fix the Blues. I like what they did. I like that they're a fringe playoff team and they've traded away guys at the deadline. They're making good moves to get assets. They're making smart trades. I don't know if you do anything.
Yeah, just ride this out. Jake Allen's return to the Jake Allen that everyone hoped Jake Allen would be.
Yeah, they don't have a ton of bad contracts. I can't even
no more so than any other team would, and probably less so, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I always am amazed that Alex Steen is a thing. I can't imagine that. That contract's not going to age well.
He's 34. Most certainly, 37-year-old Alex Steen will not be worth almost $6 million.
But Schwartz and Shen and Tarasenko, I don't think you do anything. I think you ride this out. I think it's Mike Yeo, right? That's the coach.
Yeah.
I think he's doing a good job with what he has. They traded away their first line center, second line center at the deadline. And he's almost going to bring these guys into the playoffs. I think he towed the line. They have a bit of cap space next year, I think. I don't think there's too many big names. There's not too many big names that...
No, they essentially they need to give Jordan Schmaltz a contract and they need to sign a backup goalie. Is essentially what they have to do with their $12 million in cap space. They're fine.
And maybe poor Robbie Fabry can not get hurt and play.
Yeah.
That'd be nice. I always want him to do really well. I don't know why I really like him.
Yeah, I like him too.
But I just really want him to do well. But is this the second year he's been hurt?
Yeah. So if you do have a healthy Robbie Fabry, big if, that helps.
Yeah, that would be a good. Anyways, I don't think. Do you do anything really apart from?
No, they went out at the draft and traded a first for Braden Shen. That has turned out phenomenally. Went out and reacquired a first. It'll be later with Winnipeg versus the Blues pick, but reacquired a pick for Paul Stastny. So I like what they did there. Obviously, especially if they do make the playoffs. As a fringe team, I'm always for selling versus buying. If you go and buy to try to make the playoffs and that goes poorly, then you're really up a creek, which is what we saw. Granted, the Kings are in a playoff spot, potentially, or not potentially, but partially due to the fact that they're in a terrible Pacific Division. But nonetheless, they went out for a few years. Like they went out and traded it was a first round pick for Sekera, Andre Sekera a few years back, missed the playoffs. Things like that. That's not what you want to do. You want to make sure that if you're making a pick, you can do it for a run. St. Louis isn't primed for a run right now. But I would be not surprised at all if they made a Stanley Cup Finals appearance. Like where do you stand on that?
Yeah, I think so. Like I guess the problem is that they do have to do something. I guess a little. Like I don't know because like they're not good enough to be a Stanley Cup contender right now this year. But yet I don't think I would change much apart from adding the assets that they have a set, like you said, they have basically essentially all of their picks this year. They got some young guys that are coming up. I think they just gotta hold tight, maybe sign, and be smart in free agency. Don't pay big money for an old, don't overpay for someone. If you're gonna bring in a veteran, bring him in on a short-term deal, like that kind of thing. So
yeah, but to me, I look at this and this is the St. Louis Blues team that was picked by many to win this division, was leading this division for the first half of the year, fell apart briefly for the second half. If they make the playoffs, this is the same situation that they were in. So I would have full hopes if I was a Blues fan for the quality of this team. That said, I hope that they lose all 3 games and Colorado makes the playoffs, but I don't think that'll happen.
They only have to lose 2 of the games.
And, well, I guess they have to lose the Colorado game. And one other.
Yeah, that's possible.
No, even if they win 2, Colorado has to win 2.
Right, Colorado's going to, because I have confidence in them.
I don't think so. But hey, I'm glad you do.
Where do you wanna go next with the news? We're done with Elimination Station.
Yeah, let's go to the first of... We've got 2 Swedish situations to talk about here. Let's go to the first one. The Sedins. They are on their way, presumably back to Sweden. I don't know. They're on their way out of the NHL, announcing that they are retiring at the end of this season. One more go-around, one more week for the Sedin twins.
Yeah, they got 2 games left?
Something
like that.
Yeah,
2 or 3
2 or
at the
3,
most.
obviously, yeah.
So
3. They've got 3 games left.
Where do the Sedins rank? Let's go start all-time Canucks.
Top, I would probably put them top 3. It's them and Pavel Bure.
Just no love for Trevor Linden.
No, I would put them over Trevor Linden, 100%.
And Marcus Naslund.
Yes, also over Marcus Naslund.
That's fair. That's probably where I have them too.
The only thing, because Bure was not a long-time Canuck, which is why I might even put them ahead of him, but overall quality of player, obviously Pavel Bure.
So quality of player, Pavel Bure is probably better. But as far as the ultimate Vancouver Canuck, the Sedins are 1-2.
They're 1-1 because you can't even it's not even a 1A 1B scenario. It's
it's just they're just 1.
Yeah, it's just it's a tie. It's a straight tie. If anything, we're going alphabetical and you just put Daniel first, but that's the only thing that you could do.
But they're because I just think about what they've done just as just for the community of Vancouver as players. I don't think there'd be anyone who's going to say anything bad about the Sedins. They're classy players. They're good players. They've done a lot for the community, and they're just really good at playing hockey.
Yeah, they were from what I can tell from the outside, fantastic teammates for the guys on the Canucks. They made Alex Burrows look like a competent hockey player for a significant portion of his career.
Is that the only knock against them? Is that they did something good for Alex Burrows?
Yeah. Sorry, guys. You that is one thing. obviously you had your run-in with the Sedins, or not a run-in, your meeting. That time Joel fought the Sedins, obviously.
Yeah. I only met one of them, Henrik. So just when our son was going through his health issues in the hospital, Henrik and I don't remember who else was with them. Other than
the only one who mattered.
Brandon Prust.
Oh.
Because he gave me a fist bump. He was just like, he's like, good job, and I was like, good job. I didn't know what I was doing a good job of.
Yeah, you were nailing being a dad.
So, but Henrik, like seriously, like of all the other, there's like 6 Canucks there that came by to our room, and Henrik came by, and he shook our hand and wanted to chat with us, as opposed to like all the other guys, like they were giving their time being there, but like Henrik, like it actually felt like he wanted to be there,
like he genuinely cared about you as a person.
Yeah, and and my son has the same name as him, so that was so we chatted about that too.
Yeah,
but
obviously, when you name your son after Henrik,
that's
Sedin,
not true. I made that actually very clear
to him in person.
Yeah, I was like, I did not name him after you. I actually, it did come up that I was a Leafs fan. That's how long of a conversation that we had. So, and he didn't hold that against me. He was totally okay with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like I was trying to think about this today, about how, like, I'm not a Canucks fan. I don't like the Canucks, but like, there's nothing you can say bad about the Sedins.
I would arguably say right now, any player on an NHL roster, there is none that I would be happiest about, like as a fan of that team, than the Sedins. Like as you look back at the length of their career when they retire, the Sedins are up there. Like,
oh, for sure.
I'm sure like Rangers fans will make a case for Lundqvist. Obviously, like Penguins fans will pick Crosby, but like you can't go wrong with Daniel and Henrik for so many reasons.
There's no way that I love Sidney Crosby mainly because of what he's done in the Olympics, but like there are so many people that hate Crosby.
Absolutely.
And you only listed Lundqvist because he's also a twin. But, like, I get it.
It's true. A Swedish twin. I will only list Swedish twins as people that we like for the rest of the episode.
But I don't know. Like, I agree with you. I just think, like, they were lifelong Canucks. I like them. I'm happy for them. I think that I'm glad that they're going out when they want to, that they didn't go to another team. Like, I like that.
Yeah.
It would have been fine if they'd gone to a team try and win a Stanley Cup, but like, I like that they're like, no, this is good enough for us. We're done.
And to be fair, I think part of it did so because what was it? Saturday, I believe they were quoted as saying, we're going to talk with Jim Benning, general manager of the Canucks, see what his plans are for next year, see how we fit into those, and then 2 days later, they're like, all right, we're retiring. So it'd be interesting to know what the Canucks had planned for them if they were like, yeah, we're not bringing you back, or anything along those lines, but we'll never know. That is the fact.
And that's because that's the type of people they are. They never would have been like, yeah, we're retiring because we only wanted to play for the Canucks and they weren't going to offer us a contract. They'll just be like, yeah, we're done. We just don't want to play anymore. We're going to spend time with family.
Yeah.
So is the other Swedish situation, that's harder to say than it.
Yeah, I made it look real easy the first time.
Is it also a retirement? I heard I don't know what I can't think of the word. Sentimental puck was taken.
Yeah, so Erik Karlsson last night at the end of what is the last Ottawa Senators game, home game of the regular season, skated up to the net, grabbed the puck from it, not thinking that there were cameras on him. His post-game interview, when people asked him about it, seemed a little surprised that people would even ask him about grabbing that puck, but he did, which made most people think, and I think with good reason, that he grabbed it because he assumes that is his last game for the Ottawa Senators. Let's start there. Joel, do you think that is his last home game for the Ottawa Senators?
Probably. It's his last game. He didn't go on the plane today.
Well, there you go. That's
It's not.
good
I don't
reason.
think I don't think he's playing. So, and which is understandable because he's got a lot going on in his personal life. They're clearly not doing anything. There's no reason why he needs to finish the season. So that's like my guess. That's why he's not going to. Why he's like he finished up at home, but now there's no point in going on. But I don't think he plays another game for the Ottawa Senators.
Yeah, that's a fact. And it definitely makes sense. You mentioning the fact that he's not making the road trip to end the year. Definitely support that. Yeah, I would be, especially with him thinking that he's done. It makes it even more of a thing that you want to, just wrap up that situation. You don't want it where your captain thinks he's not part of the team.
What do you think? Like, where do you think he ends up?
Oof. Well, so the talk of the town is that Vegas was the one making the biggest push for him, and that's why that they offered such a large trade for Thomas Tatar. And so, because they were like, we want to move these pieces, we want to move these assets. What can we get for them? And apparently, a first, a second, and a third was part of what they were offering for Erik Karlsson. Obviously, you would offer much more than that. So, yeah, I would say Vegas would be the leader in the clubhouse, especially with how many free agents they have this year. We'll see what they can bring in. That would be my go-to. Obviously, I'd love to, I could find a way to convince myself that Colorado has what it takes, but I'm pretty sure after the Matt Duchene trade, Ottawa's not making a deal with Joe Sakic anytime soon.
No. It also depends. It'll be interesting to see if Vegas tries to re-up James Neal.
Well, apparently James Neal wants to re-up, so.
But yeah, I could see that. Thomas Tatar, 5 points, 17 games. Well done, Vegas.
Very, very smart trade.
That's what you like to see. Yeah, I don't know where he's going to end up. Someone's going to pay a lot for him, and they're going to love the fact that they have him. Like it'll just be, and they're just going to have to hope that Drew Doughty doesn't convince Karlsson to hit the open market.
I was going to say, depending on what you are giving up, I think any team within their rights has the ability to say we'll only trade for him if in essentially a sign and trade situation, right? We will only do it if we can talk contract with him first, which is easier to do in the off season, right? It's much easier.
It's true, but Ottawa's in a position that they actually don't have. They can just be like, no.
Right. Well, they can say that. And if they can find a team that will, they can find a team that will trade for him without a sign and trade. So if
and
they
give
get
up a lot.
Yeah, a full season of Erik Karlsson is still a very good thing. So any team that thinks they're in playoff contention should certainly be looking at what they would get for him.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting. Any other news, or I don't know what else is going?
We've got some injury situations happening. We talked previously about the Steven Stamkos injury. That's happened. We've got Victor Arvidsson is hurt for the Nashville Predators, but they have brought over Eli Tolvainen, who is projected to hit their second line coming over from the KHL. Which I always find a very interesting thing, that you have to have guys on the roster by a certain date unless you sign them from the K, and then they can just hop in and be your fantastic last week trade piece.
Yeah, that's bizarre. I don't think we actually did talk about the Stamkos injury.
Did we not?
It happened yesterday.
We talked about a different, right? Because he sat, I believe, Monday.
Yeah, and then
the episode we did Monday, he sat, and then he was back in the lineup.
And then he got hurt again.
Yeah. Did they ever... I was trying to discover during that game if there was a particular play that he got hurt on, and from what I could tell, there was not. Did you see anything come out today?
It was definitely the play that he left on.
Okay.
Yeah, there is definitely a play that he injured himself on.
Okay.
It doesn't look bad, but who knows with Stamkos? I don't know about Tampa.
Are you saying that because you are a week away from playing Tampa in the playoffs.
No, because if I was smart, I would act like you and be like, Tampa's the greatest. They don't even need Stamkos. I don't know. I was saying this. Do you remember a while ago where I was like, Tampa's totally got the feeling of being upset in the first round? I said that
you said that in like January.
I said that a long time ago.
Yeah, this is a long con reverse jinx.
And how is that a reverse jinx? We may need to have an episode about what a reverse jinx is, because me saying that, hey, they might get upset in the first round. I don't want Tampa to win. I want them to lose in the first round very badly in 4 games, hopefully 21-0 throughout the 4th games. But like, I don't know. It just feels like I don't think they're not making it through Boston. There's no way.
Yeah, there's a lot going against them. Certainly, with the injury to Steven Stamkos, with Andrei Vasilevsky not being at 100%, with their team not 100% clicky, but I still would be terrified to face them. So
I don't know. The Leafs are going to lose to them most likely, but I'm not terrified to play them. We score goals. I don't know if you know this, but Austin Matthews, greatest player ever. It's pretty good. He's going to win.
I've heard rumors of these things. Joel, just for those, and obviously people will be able to see the scores later. When this show is finished, most of these games will be done or nearing completion. Devils currently up 4-1 on the Rangers, looking like they will lock in. The Flyers, Jackets are currently losing, and the Preds are losing to the Panthers. So,
Preds. I was just about to talk them up and be like, they're going to be really good. I think
they are going to be really good.
Are you like next week we're going to make our Stanley Cup winner prediction?
Yeah, next week we'll have.
So don't say no.
I think Sunday is when Sunday is when the regular season ends. So next Monday's episode, everything will be set. We'll be able to do our full and complete playoff prediction.
So I won't say now because I think I've already got my team. They may not play Sunday because if standings don't change at all, that's a makeup game.
Okay.
So my guess is Sunday probably doesn't happen if they don't need it to.
The Bruins Panthers game on Sunday.
Yeah, because remember like Snowmageddon in the East or whatever. I think that was canceled because of that. That's a makeup game.
Okay.
I think the only reason why they'll play that is if the Panthers win, they make the playoffs. That'd be kind of fun. I hope it goes down to that. Why not? Right?
I have never wanted to cheer more against Boston. Like, I don't really care if Florida makes the playoffs, but that would be a fun game just to have everyone, except for the team that would get knocked out, cheering against Boston.
Yeah. That would be... You see, Carlo? Matt Carlo, is that his name? Is that the defenseman for the Bruins? I don't know his name.
Brandon
Carlo?
Yep.
Sure. That guy's out for a long time. Is he good?
He is good. Yeah.
That's not good for them.
No. Luckily for them, yeah, he broke his ankle, but luckily for them, Brad Marchand not suspended.
Oh my goodness.
So they do still have him. Apparently you can cross-check a guy straight in the face, and all it costs you is $5,000.
Did Polak get $5,000 today? Because he definitely cross-checked Eichel in the face yesterday.
I don't think so. No, I don't think. I think they assumed Polak was falling.
Polak's always falling.
Like, I think they're just like, oh, Roman didn't try to do that. That wasn't on purpose. That's fine.
Seriously, like, do we need to get like Matt Cook to sit down with Brad Marchand? Is that what it's gonna come to?
Let's get Matt Cook, Rafi Torres, and Brad Marchand in a room together.
Okay, Rafi Torres never changed. I feel like Matt Cook's kind of changed.
Matt Cook did change his colors near the end. That is true.
So maybe we need to get him to be like, Brad, listen, Brad, come
Bradley,
on,
Brad. Mr. Marchand, come on.
Just stop doing it. You know what we could? Brad Marchand, Alex Burrows, Rafi Torres, table and ladders match. Who wins?
Rafi Torres.
Yeah, probably.
That guy is like unapologetically dirty.
Yeah, so he, like, what is he, like, I don't know what's ever worse than a table or a chair, but he finds it underneath the ring and uses it.
He would bring out, like, he would just see. I think Marchand is the guy who has the other thing, because he's like the sneaky, dirty guy who thinks he's sneaky, and so when he brings Chara out as his muscle, everyone's like, "Yeah, we knew you were bringing Chara out. We saw him backstage beforehand. Like, we all knew, Brad. Come on."
Right. So I don't know. Is that the news? I think that's the news.
I think that's the news. Do you want to pick our last set of must-watch games of the week from here on out? Once the playoffs start, watch them all. That's the point. You only have 4 games a night. They're spread out. Watch them. Although the NHL will probably do something stupid like make them all start at 5:00 Eastern time. Enjoy that, Anaheim.
Yeah, probably. Okay, where do you want to go? Did we pick a game for today, or we just skip a day?
No, we skipped a day. I don't know what it would have been, but yeah, because we did not know that we would be recording on a Tuesday. So we'll see what the schedule brings. Tomorrow there are only 3 games. Only 2 of them have impact on the playoffs. My pick is Chicago-St. Louis over Anaheim-Minnesota.
Okay.
Unless we're saying if it matters, if there's games that matter for playoffs, we're doing it. We're prepping for like the all high sticking playoff go around. What do you want?
No, that's too much. That's too much work. Just do one.
All right. I don't know why I write them down. I do it on my phone. Apparently, I was just going to write them all down. Let's not do that.
Okay, Thursday.
Off your point, the projected for the Blues is or for the Blackhawks is JF Berube. So.
Okay.
That's in St. Louis's favor.
Probably. They could still lose that. So the playoff implication games, Toronto, Jersey, Carolina, Philly. Nashville, Washington's a fun little game. Columbus, Pittsburgh, Boston, Florida. Avs, San Jose, Minnesota, Los Angeles.
So every game that night apparently matters for playoffs.
But no one's playing each other.
Very true.
So you got to choose one. So you either go there. Like I would go Stanley Cup preview potentially.
I'm fine with that. Yeah,
Nashville, Washington, and just stay away from all of the playoff friendly games.
Just know, like, check the rest of them. Scoreboard watch while you're watching Nashville, Washington.
Yeah. Friday,
we've got 2, St. Louis, Chicago, Dallas, Anaheim.
Dallas, Anaheim. We don't want to choose the same game again.
Okay, I like that.
Saturday, this is where it all counts.
This is the last day. Everyone plays, presumably. I assume, yeah, that's a big schedule. Looks like everyone's playing. We've got, I think we have to. I know in the past you've been against my plethora of trying to slot Colorado in, but Colorado St. Louis I think has to be the game that day.
Not only do I disagree, it's a hard disagree.
Seriously, what game is more important that night?
So this is where I'm going, and I don't think we have chosen them all year. Okay. I honestly don't think they have made an appearance in high sticking, but I think you have to go Vancouver in Edmonton. You have to. It's the Sedin's last game.
I just wish that game had been at home. Can we switch it? No one cares in Edmonton.
Well, do you want to? Okay, then do you want to go back? Okay, so Thursday night, let's take off Nashville, Washington, and Arizona in Vancouver.
Which I would think like Arizona in Vancouver is probably a better pick than.
I say let's do both. The Sedins, like, when are you ever going to see amazing twins play together?
Never. This is a once in a lifetime thing. We will not have that many.
This is never going to happen again. So why don't you do both? So Thursday night, forget Washington, Nashville, do the Sedin's last game, and then I'll tell you what, I will compromise with you on Saturday.
Do we get both games?
I'll let you choose the Avs if you let me choose the Sedins, and we do 2 games to finalize it, and then that way we don't have to break the no Boston rule and don't have to pick a game Sunday.
All right. There's a game on Sunday. No.
Don't watch it unless it's for playing.
Okay.
Then maybe watch it. That'd be fun.
I'm going to, because that will be the last day to get in your high sticking points on Sunday. I think it's only fair to our listeners that they have a chance on Sunday to get in. We took away the chance on Tuesday, tonight, so we're giving them that double point. I think Sunday we have, for our listeners' sake, I think we should give them the Sunday Florida-Boston game.
I will compromise, and they can pick a Florida Panther, but they cannot pick a Boston Bruin.
Okay.
Is that a good compromise, or are you not listening? You're probably not going to listen and just be like, pick from both.
Well, I'll probably, if they, do you want to offer, because...
Okay, here's the compromise.
Okay, Joel's all about the compromise.
I will concede this. If Florida has a chance to make the playoffs, it's a high-sticking game. If they are already eliminated or are already in, and that game means nothing, don't watch it. Enjoy a Sunday with your family.
It's true. You only have, 3 more days before you're not going to see them for a couple weeks.
How do you feel about that?
Sure, we can do that.
Okay, it's probably going to matter, I'm pretty sure.
It'll probably matter, yeah.
So which is actually kind of exciting. It's like a weird...
It's like that play-in game in baseball.
Yeah, but not cheating. We went it's not like you're adding a play-in game. It's like
an actual play-in game. The only thing that would make it
came
better,
down to that.
Yeah, the only thing that would make it better is if it was against the Devils, and it was that. That would be a magical day. That would be fantastic.
Right, but don't fakely create that, NHL. Just let it happen that way.
Right. Don't add more playoff teams.
Exactly. That's what because I like that, because I don't want a playing game, but I like that there is a playing game because that's how this regular season unfolded.
Yeah, I support this.
Okay, are we done?
High
Is this over?
sticking points. Let's give some update on the points, and
Okay.
then we're gonna let everyone know about a special event that's happening in partnership with the Alberta Podcast Network. So we'll do that. But Joel, do you remember we changed the rules last week?
I do not, but go ahead.
High sticking, same scoring, but now every point you get is an entry into a name in a hat draw. You remember that, right?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. I recall this.
Yeah, so you were there when we decided that. Which is very, very good because there's currently a 3-way tie for the lead.
Of course there is.
So luckily we don't have that problem anymore. There's no such thing as a tie in high sticking because everyone still gets the points. Chad, Alex, and Kristen. I beat Kristen in the fantasy hockey. Now she's winning at high sticking. That's a silver lining. Maybe she can still win something.
That's good. I like that.
Yeah. So keep playing because no matter what, even if you only get points, let's say you pick the second assist. I almost said third assist. Those don't exist. If you pick the second assist on the game winner in Florida-Boston as the Florida Panthers make the playoffs over the Philadelphia Flyers on Sunday night, you have an entry in. You can win just as much as Chad, Alex, and Kristen, who've been playing all week. So obviously they'll have a much better chance than you, but you can still win. And we've got pucks, we've got mini sticks. You get to pick. If you win, you get to pick which one you want.
It definitely sounded like you were going to say something else, and I was like, "Ooh, we have new stuff." We don't. Just kidding.
No, we don't. We continually toy with the idea.
Actually, we do have an order for new swag. Just kidding.
That's true. We do.
I'm not. Just kidding was to the fact that we don't have. We have new swag, but we're not. It's I think it's not going to be ready till next season. That's how long it's going to take.
Really?
I don't know. I'm just saying that because we're not going to give it away this year. I don't think.
Are we? I don't. Maybe. Who knows? We
maybe
genuinely don't know
thing.
when it'll show up. Yeah. We are going to be doing a pick 'em pool again. Not a pick 'em pool, but like a bracket challenge. That. Yeah. So if you like picking brackets, if your March Madness bracket turned out terrible like everyone else's, you can do it at the hockey.
Nice.
We'll be doing that. Check out our Facebook, Twitter, etc. For some of that. Joel, as I mentioned, there's an event happening May 5th at CKUA in Edmonton. There's something called the Pod Summit, which is Western Canada's podcast conference. It is sponsored by the Alberta Podcast Network, which is powered by ATB, as you already know. If you have a podcast and you want to learn how to make it better, if you want to make it sound better, grow your audience, create great content, go there. If you don't have a podcast and you want to learn how to start one, go there. Tickets are only $150 for the event, but they are limited. Head to podsummit.com, not Podcast Summit, podsummit.com. Go over there. They will be able to help you make your podcast better. For us, you can find us at thefourthlinepodcast.com, where there's articles this week on Brad Marchand being still somehow in the Hart Trophy running. Mike Laybourne wrote on how the Colorado Avalanche, it doesn't matter that Jonathan Bernier has been hurt, Simeon Varlamov's hurt and they've had to go to Jonathan Bernier. I obviously disagree with him. But you can find more great content over there. You can find where you can subscribe to the show. If this is your first time listening, welcome. Thank you for staying all the way to the end as well. You can find us on Apple Podcasts. You can find us anywhere that podcasts are. You can find us on Twitter at Fourth Line Podcast, where you can play high sticking with our Pavel Burys. Facebook.com/The Fourth Line Podcast. You can find us always on Pinterest. Until next week, I am Woe Is Me, Carl, for the always wonderful Joel.
Boom City.